So, all right, we'll get started. In three, two, one. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 208 of the Guardian Hub podcast, where we talk Destiny, interview our guests, and talk about our love of the game. And where I have to do the countdown because Sin isn't here, but Des is. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing. I'm recovering. So yeah.
Wait, recovering from?
I didn't mention it last week because, of course, we had a very special guest. But yeah, no, my allergies have been absolutely murdering me.
I gotcha.
So,
yeah. Which, by the way, again, excellent episode. If for some reason you people are just tuning into this episode, like you're new or whatever, go back and at least listen to episode 207. If you don't have to listen to all of our episodes, but at least listen to the last one. We had a great guest on, but you can look that up and see for yourself. But welcome to everyone. If you are new, by the way, we don't really think about new people listening, but I'm sure people do from time to time. I mean, yeah,
Indeed.
we do get new people in the Discord, so certainly some of you must be listening to the podcast also. And honestly, probably we could be having some listeners from Arrow Knights being a guest from last week. So welcome to anyone who's listening. We hope we can be a great Destiny podcast that, hey, you don't have to love us, but as long as you listen occasionally, that's all we ask for.
Yeah. Listen,
Right?
give us some feedback, start some conversation. Good
Yes.
times, good times.
And we love the live conversations, right? We've been doing this ever since we kind of had the ability to. We have anywhere from 1 to 10 or more live people. Sometimes it's more. I just don't really keep track, but they're listening to the show at a time. And you can join any point, typically, unless we have something special going on, but typically most Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, just come into the Guardian Hub Discord and the podcast live channel. And you too can listen live and write live comments.
Indeed.
But
It's
hey,
a
even
fun
if you
time for
can't,
all.
yeah, it is. And even if you can't make it live, feel free. We have a questions for the show static channel that you can post things, quote, offline also.
Cool.
Yeah, we were talking about 80s sounding stuff. And you know what movie I just watched again? It's been forever, but it was my favorite movie growing up, especially because they recorded some of it at my local mall. I'll give you a hint. There's a scene with a mall parking lot in it. Now, do you have any idea what I'm talking about? I can give you more hints if you need. I don't want to give
I feel
you
like I'm
easy one yet.
All right, but a mall parking lot is a bit vague.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there's also a dog in a mall parking lot.
Dog in a mall parking lot. I have
And you can play along, Scoot, if you happen to know the answer.
right, like so. Keeping on track. I'm assuming it's an '80s movie.
It is.
Considering the
Yes.
'80s sparked it. I'm fairly well versed in '80s movies. God, but no, I'm drawing blanks.
It's right in the middle of the 80s. It came out in 1985, but I won't get too much more specific because then you might be able to look up the exact date. But all right. No worries. Okay, this is fun, actually.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so a dog in a mall parking lot. But if I say some things, it'll be a little too obvious. So first I'll go with you see the mall parking lot twice in the movie. There's two different scenes of it. One at the beginning and one at the end.
So it's a movie that's bookended by this mall parking lot.
Basically, it's not at the very beginning, but basically
Yeah.
it's at the beginning and at the end.
There's a dog.
And there's a dog. I know. I feel like that's kind of like throwing it off, but you'll totally get it when.
I don't know.
This is fun.
I am like wringing my brain
All right, all right.
trying to think of things, but there's nothing coming though.
So the mall in real life, not that this matters, but I'm geeking out because I grew up here, and I was actually driving. I remember being a kid and we were driving by it when they were filming it one night. But in real life, it's called the Pointy Hills Mall. It's in Southern California, but in the movie, it's called the Twin Pines Mall.
Oh God. Uh,
But all right, all right. Yeah, because if you look it up, you could get the answer. But this is fun, so try not to look it up.
Yeah.
Hold on, the wife is texting if I want anything from Taco Time, so I'm going to say yes, same as last time. Gosh, we're going to have these segments every once in a while now because this is fun, and you can you can play it back on me too. Okay, next. I'm trying to think because one I give will be make it totally obvious, but let's see, I hadn't seen this movie for a long time too, even though it was my favorite for the longest time.
Twin Pines sounds familiar.
What else can I give that won't be too obvious? Well, I might as well start getting a little more obvious here. And in the mall parking lot, it deals with a car. Maybe that won't be obvious enough yet. And a dog, but mostly a car. You're going to be kicking yourself once you.
So it's Twin Pines Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The car has a very, very prominent role in the whole movie. Are we getting closer yet?
I think that seals it, and I'm going to guess that it's Back to the Future.
Yay! Yep.
Okay. Good God.
I love this.
I was definitely never going to get, like I said, thankfully Twin Pines stuck out in my head.
Mm-hmm.
God, was the dog's name Einstein?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so that was another thing that was popping in my head too. But yeah, no, yeah, like mall, like was definitely no, I was not getting it from that. Mall parking lot, I was like, nah.
Yeah, it was like I think my wife and I were just talking about like Michael J. Fox for whatever reason. I'm like, I haven't seen Back to the Future for a long time. Let's watch it.
It's one of those really good movies that just kind of doesn't pop out of my head often.
And then I want to watch 2 and 3 again because I've seen those less compared to 1, but yeah. So Back to the Future.
Right, yeah. I think incidentally, I might have seen 3 more than the other 2.
Ah, yeah.
I think just happenstance, because of course back in the day, basic cable I absolutely loved. Back to the Future, considering it's fairly family friendly.
Yeah.
Because it's like what, PG at worst.
I think it's PG. Yeah. I'll have to see here, but
no, yeah, like so of course, especially TNT for whatever reason. I remember watching a lot of Back to the Future on TNT, and the one movie I caught I think more than any of them was the third one.
Yeah, I probably watched the third one a little more than the second. And then the first one, I don't know why, for whatever reason, just my friends my age and all our parents, we all seem to really like the first one a lot, so we watched that one a lot.
Yeah.
But I did like the third one too.
Oh yeah, it was very interesting.
And good music.
Yeah, for sure. Like that it's kind of a it was interesting considering that Doc always had like these very specific like tech lines and stuff. He had like very specific like gobbledygook that he would always spit out.
Yeah, 1.21 gigawatts.
Right? And oh god, who was that actor?
Oh, well, let's see.
Like
I have
Doc.
this pulled up here. Yeah,
I forget his name now, but he is a
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah,
Christopher Lloyd. He's a fantastic actor. I love like pretty much anything he's in. But of course, also being slightly younger, I think I do remember him most as Fester from Addams Family.
yeah, yep. Oh man, good times, good times.
Good memories, good memories.
All right. Anything else extracurricular besides Destiny you want to talk about? Any gaming stuff?
I'm still playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Still playing Marvel Snap. I'm pretty much in a pain with both of them now, so that's going to be fantastic. Because as alluded to before, that I thought was happening soon, but it ended up happening a few months later than I thought. Master Duel is finally hitting the point in Yu-Gi-Oh, like the physical card game history, where one deck is going to be dominating for a very long time. So that game's population is definitely about to be tested for a while. So we'll see how well it stands up, and exactly how low like the numbers dip, or what happens at all. Because who knows? It could actually be an entirely different thing. Because there's a lot of people outside of Yu-Gi-Oh that actually tend to enjoy. Because the deck type is called Tiarlaments, and they're hilariously basically just sad mermaids. I'm not joking. But no, they have like such mechanics, and it's very like even I myself after playing it, it's very different and intriguing how many like points of interaction it has. So I don't know, who knows? Like maybe more people playing Master Duel will like this playstyle a little better. So it could see a population insurgence. But it's definitely at the point where if you're looking to be any kind of successful or competitive, your choice is one deck.
Yeah. Right on. Oh, and I posted some pictures too, by the way, in the chat. If you want to see, you can see the picture of what it looks like in the movie. And yeah, that J.C. Penney. Well, first of all, I don't know why they call it Twin Pines. It's filmed in Southern California, where we have palm trees, not pine trees. But that J.C. Penney went out of business. Well, long ago now, but it stayed around long after the movie, and now it's like some fitness center, 24-hour fitness. It looks like.
It's like when's the last time I thought about a J.C. Penney? My God.
Right. Yeah. Things change, but the mall is still there, which I guess that's always good news because a lot of things will change. Those type of malls haven't been as popular, the indoor courtyard ones.
I don't know. Well, yeah, true. I mean, hilariously, living in or being raised in Alabama and living in, I mean, because South usually has somewhat smaller cities than a lot of the U.S. But even Montgomery, I mean, we had 2 like courtyard malls. So
yeah,
and that kind of, in hindsight, it surprised me, but I guess it was just normal. I guess we just had. But of course, I only went to the one mall because the other mall was in the bad part of town, and you really didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
Because hilariously, when I broke my arm as a child and had to go to the emergency room, I shared an ER area with someone that had gotten shot at the other mall.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it was we didn't go to that one.
I can see why.
Oh, okay, and also to be clear, because I did mention being left at a mall and in an arcade, it was the safe one I was left at, not the other one.
And that's normal too.
Clarify. Yeah.
Even back at our age growing up, it's like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna be left anywhere, malls, and yeah, kids wanted to be left there too. It's not like the parents
Exactly.
needed to stick around.
I mean, Lord,
Or sometimes you would just go to the mall on your own, right? Just, hey, I'm going to the mall or whatever, you know.
I mean, we weren't that close, but I mean, again, I was probably still like over 100 feet away from where mom worked, and I would just be left there. And good Lord, it was a pretty safe like environment because I mean, Lord, there's a crowd of like people there, and I only I was smart enough as a kid, you know. If mom or dad are there, it's time to go home. If someone else tells me to go home, no.
yeah.
But yeah, it's also hilariously one thing that's vanished that I used to do as a kid. And I'm probably a little too overprotective to allow to really let it happen. Is I used to actually like when we'd go to a store, Toys R Us, Walmart at the time, whatever. I would go to electronics and play the demos on the gaming consoles,
Oh,
and then stay there the entire time and have an extremely sore neck when I got home because my God, those angles. But yeah, that's something that A, who really does that anymore, and B, really trusts like I said, I probably wouldn't leave my kid alone like in a department store for that long. Like it's like, no,
yeah.
no, you can follow.
And I'm thinking of arcades now too, and bringing back memories, and then I'm thinking about too because funny enough, this dovetails perfectly into Destiny, the Thrilladome Lost Sector on Neo Muna, and I was just playing that today on Master because of some things I needed to do, and it's it's Destiny looking, but they still have a basic format of stand-up arcades next to each other in different rectangular formats all around the walls and a couple in the middle, a couple different levels, which makes it really cool because it makes then the place, it's kind of like split level, not like a whole story above, but like split level, and some lower, some higher, and I'm like, oh man, good times. And it's funny in this Lost Sector scene of Vex standing in front of an arcade machine, almost as if like they're playing, but they're not moving or anything. And I forget the name, like Vex. Oh, I should have Vex Regulator or something. That's not the name, but there's some purpose to their name and what they're doing there. But then there's the one at the beginning to get in the door, and there's 3 at this other arcade in the very back, and then you kill a very special harpy, and then those 3 kind of get teleported through a portal into the other area, which then that portal's there, and you can go through that other area, and then you're kind of in one of these that they've been doing in the game for a while, but kind of like the Tron-y looking Vex areas, simulations, whatever you call it, stuff. And then that's where you finalize the fight and kill the boss and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah, but pretty cool. But yeah, one of the things I just want to talk about Destiny right now, which is what we have all been kind of experiencing lately, is I find it really interesting and kind of cool that Guardian Ranks is getting a resurgence of popularity. I don't know if anyone remembers, not just us, but other podcasts kind of had this opinion too, but we were looking forward to it. What's this going to be? It comes out. And then a couple weeks in, people are like, I don't know about this. I'm not so interested. They made a lot of bad decisions. Well, they fixed a lot of things already pretty quickly. And for whatever reason, within this last week or so, a lot of people are really interested in Guardian rank ups. I don't know why. Something must have just clicked. I'm telling you, everyone in my circle is working on it. And we're all kind of like this level 7 through 10. And what is interesting about this too, which it's maddening, but it also kind of makes sense, dovetailing with this too, and for so many other reasons, Nightfalls are hot this week. I mean, GMs did come out this week, and they made some changes, and this is a pretty good Nightfall 2 run also, and they lowered the scoring, and But what's most interesting is with these guardian ranks, first you got to do a hero with a certain score, then you got to do a master with a certain score, then you got to do a grandmaster with a certain score. Well, these aren't ones that backtrack. So you have to do actually each one when you're in that respective rank. So there's a lot of people just pointing fingers and looking at each other. Okay, I need to do a master. Who else needs to do a master? Someone's like, well, I can do a grandmaster. I'm like, I can join you. I don't really want to. I'm going to have to do a grandmaster anyways when I, on the next one. But it's just so funny. Like all these groups are forming everywhere of getting Nightfalls done, especially this week. And I find it interesting. I find it fun. Also, it is double rewards week this week. And that's always good to run, even if you don't want to run Grandmaster. I ran a Master Nightfall because I wanted to get this done with pretty quickly so I could level up to the next level. And I tried LFG and it went very well. And no mic, Master Nightfall. And we got the score easily. And with double rewards on Master, I got 3 Ascendant Shards and 2 Exotics. Just dropped at the end like that. Plus other materials and other loot. But pretty rewarding. So I just find that really cool, really interesting. And we want to hear from you all what Guardian rank you're at. And are you interested in leveling up? I'm sure not everyone is, but I'm seeing a lot more people being interested all of a sudden. Even though, there's still issues with it, and Bungie could change more things. But hey, we're all working on it now for whatever reason.
Yeah, right. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, to see at least that they're heading in a community accepted direction to at least, not so much that it's better or anything, but people aren't thinking negatively about it so much. So
yeah. Now there's still issues with rank 11. It's going to be one of these things where we're going to see a lot of Guardians at forever rank 10 because 11 really kicks up the difficulty way crazy. At 11, you have to do like a solo dungeon, the most recent one. You have to do master raid, and master dungeon. You have to guild conqueror. You have to do all these things, which I get it kind of, but I don't know. I think I'll be okay staying at 10 for this season, and then we'll see if they change it at all next season. I don't know. Or maybe I'll work on 11 next time.
Right, because I'm actually kind of hoping they keep it that way.
Yeah,
because to be fair, from what I heard about a lot of the earlier ones, it just seemed like grindy stuff. Because Guardian rank, it's like, okay, show off, like what kind of a Guardian you are or whatever, and I don't know, stuff like I said, soloing a raid and
soloing a dungeon. Conquer. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah. That's some stuff that actually is that makes it actually super worth it. And personally, I'm all kinds of down for things that aren't just grindy, and that not bashing anyone or anything or anybody like Sin, that just goes through things to collect titles or whatever, regardless of meaning, just to collect thing and grind the thing to get thing. It's a fair mentality. But I don't know. I'm just I really like things that you really want to go for. If you're forever rank 10 because, well, I'm either not good enough or I can't, or whatever. It's a fair block to me. So I don't know. I'm super down with that, actually, and I kind of hope they kind of stick to their guns a bit, because that's, in my eyes, that actually makes it impressive to see an 11 or a 12 rank Guardian. It's like, dude, that guy knows the game.
Yeah. This is great. And one of the things too that obviously probably got a lot of us interested was when they announced last week or the week before that it's not doing a full reset each season. We get to keep that number, and then we just have to build some things back up again. And as long as you kind of do that, you can keep it for at least another season. You'll keep that number, and then just fill in not all the blanks, but a few of the blanks, and then you're there. And I think that even just small change alone made all of us interested to like, okay, so since it's not doing a full reset, there's
Yeah,
a little more reason to actually go crazy and grind for this.
yeah, yeah. Even Scoot
Yeah.
says, despite the fact that he's more, well, I'm adding way more than he typed, so apologies, but being more of a loot-oriented chaser, he's actually still showing interest, or slowly potentially showing interest in Guardian ranks. So, like I said,
Yeah.
it's always a good thing. Like when they change enough initially, just to slightly change your mind about it. I mean, they're doing something that's working. So
Yeah, totally. So I just thought that was interesting, and I'm sure other people are seeing this too. But let us know. And by the way, there is a command in the Discord too. The Charlemagne bot, of course, has this. You can kind of see where everyone stands. I've been seeing a lot of these show up today. But if you use /rank leaderboard :grank for Guardian rank, G rank,
all right,
you can see your number, and it'll even show like if you'll see a lot of numbers like, wait, why are people like 10.75 or 9.78? Well, what they're doing is they're just kind of dividing all the sub ones in between, and however many you have done, it'll just add that as the point number. So you can kind of see where everyone stands. No one is 11 yet that is registered with our Discord. Squid is the highest, 10.75. Shout outs to you, man.
close,
Yeah.
close. I don't know. I do like the fact that they take in like sub goal, like
Mm-hmm.
your basically your percentage completion. Because I mean, if it's a leaderboard, you're really gonna try and race people. Or if I mean, again, if that's your motivation, go for it. It's valid motivation. Like just to try and
It kind of is.
be a higher rank just to be a higher rank.
I mean, Sin's feeling left out. He's a little behind, and he's like, I got to rank this up now. It's definitely motivation for some people. I
Right?
mean, shout out Kato is at 9.8. I'm at 9.67. And then Sin, where's Sin? This is mean. We're calling him out. He's not even here.
No, it's fair.
7.95. He's not even 8. Come on, Sin.
I mean, to be fair, he's still higher ranked than I am. So I mean, he's doing something at least.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean that's like just make number bigger. I mean, can be it's essentially PvP rank in a nutshell. Even if there's no loot, I mean, people are still gonna try and go for a higher rank just to make big number bigger. I mean, it's like a base. I think they actually describe it as some kind of like base, almost based like human desire or something, just to make it almost like the perception of accomplishment, something like that. I forget what it is exactly, but there's like an entire study of essentially why games in general are successful, just on a simple basis.
Yeah. And shout out to RNG Gator also. He still says he doesn't care as much. He's rank 8 and hard to motivate himself. That's fair also. I don't know if you heard earlier in the conversation, but at least I'm seeing more people get interested. Doesn't mean everyone needs to get interested. So I just find it really interesting, at least, that no one seemed to be interested several weeks ago, and now all of a sudden people are getting interested. But don't feel. I don't care who. I mean, I'm not like. None of us are looking down. Oh, you don't leveling up. Why not? Like obviously we don't care. We just, for some reason, I'm motivated now.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Lowest score wins, Scoot says. Oh boy, I have to start a new character and be level 1 or whatever. Wait, can you even do that? Because I think it was account based, isn't it? Not character based. Ooh.
Oh yeah, I think
I'd have to create a alt account.
Right. Then you really be Gator 2.0.
Yeah. Start
but of course,
alt account.
If that's the case, then you can just start an alt account, like collect a Guardian rank, then you're forever winning if you just leave it alone.
Yeah. Oh, and another thought. I wonder if it's possible to get a Master Nezclair at rank 1. I mean, maybe. Especially, obviously it could be. You just don't click off anything, even if they're like all lit up.
Right.
Because it does work that way. But Oh man, that would be a lot of work to build up your character, though, because you have to start an alt account. I think
Ugh.
that's a worthy goal, Scoot. Play it that way, however you want to play the game. Start an alt character or an alt account. Stay at Guardian rank 1, but run a master raid once you're ready.
I mean, good lord, that's like a YouTube series content right there. You can make a big Scoot.
Yeah, let's do it. And shout out also to Scoot, by the way, and our master raid team. We've been working on it the last 2 weeks since it came out. Kato, Sin, all the usual suspects. Scoot is in there, Fiery Pink Yoda, and Edifier. And yeah, so far it's been a thing. It's definitely been bringing some life into this raid that is annoying and to me, and yeah, easy, but that's not the main reason why I don't love it as much. But the first encounter was just really, really just, you know, on point, gaining ads down quickly and saving supers and using weapons like Sleeper Simulant to take down the Tormentors quickly because only certain people can that have a buff. So it made it very interesting, kind of like an ad technical challenge. And then the second encounter, we spent way too much time on for like, it's not really technically challenging, but again, it's just these are so unforgiving. You just have to execute perfectly. Where second encounter, there's the platforms where the runners can go back and forth. Well, no, if you need to get to the other side, no one on your side, you or anyone on your side, can shoot the nut to shoot you over. Someone from the opposite side has to shoot it. No, that's not that big of a deal, really. It's easy to do. I just popped on. I think I had a pulse. Maybe I had a scout. Actually, I had a scout. But it kind of takes the one person away who's doing that, because I could work on ads a little bit, but really Kato was my main ad guy, and then I had a runner. I think it was Sin. And I had to be close to that middle chasm and be on point when someone says, Kingsley, get ready to shoot in 3, 2, 1. I had to stop focusing on ads, shoot them, and then quickly get back in position. But sometimes the ads are going to be further against the wall, up in another spot where I don't want to be, because I need to be best distance to shoot them across. So it really does, because of all these things, it adds to the difficulty of ad people have to be on point, the shooters have to be on point, shooting quickly, but then also helping with ads when they can. And of course, the runners have to be on point, because like any master raid, if 1 or 2 deaths, it's pretty much, there's no recovery. You just get 2 behind or other things happen.
Yeah.
But we've been having fun, and we are ready for this next one. Hopefully we'll continue on. I'm getting tired, let me tell you, but I'll push forward for the next 2 weeks. Probably.
Most likely.
Most likely. We'll see.
Right?
I'm announcing here. I'm not. No, I'm just kidding. I am. All right. What? Anything good we want to talk about? A couple minutes for the TWAB. Let me see. I don't even have it pulled up.
TWAB. Let's see. We talked. One good thing about the TWAB, and sadly, kind of the centerpiece of this TWAB, is the best dress commendation that they announced.
Oh yeah.
Which they announced it for season 21, I think. But good news, it's being moved up to the mid-season 20 patch now.
Yay.
So we'll have a best dress commendation, but there will be stipulations to the best dress commendation. It will not be capable of being awarded in like pre-match made activities like raids and trials, and where you have to have your own team. So basically no farming commendations. Like they said, I like how they put it, this isn't a high school award. Best dressed is about giving a stranger a compliment. So it is like, yeah, it's going to mainly be involved in already match made activities, and you'll be able to give strangers kudos on their looks.
I mean, that is actually one that I might think about, because the other ones are always like, knowledge and knowledgeable and helpful or whatever the hell. And it's like, I don't have
Yeah.
time to care. But now I'm playing with randos. If someone does look really cool, then I will actually give them best dressed.
Yeah. And then of course they talk about Trials Lab, and they are apparently working on a new pool system. That to me sounds super interesting. Um, Instead of just like, your basic pool and then the flawless pool that used to start up, um, they're now working on what they call a challenger pool, which are for those that, of course, are trying to go flawless and are basically, serious, and a practice pool. Um,
And a kiddie pool.
I mean, essentially. But the only way to get into the practice pool is essentially is to have is a, for it to be your first match of the week, or you have a flawed trials card,
Okay.
and that puts you in the practice pool, which is just basically trials casual. So if you're just either looking to grind for stuff, or you just like basically you're just looking to grind for stuff instead of trying to go flawless, then it actually gives the casual people a reason to keep a flawed card. Because again, if you have a flawed card, you get put into the practice pool. The practice pool will have stomp protection, where if you're consistently struggling, it will reduce your weekly performance rating to give you slightly easier matches to hopefully win. And apparently it will also have farming protection. So somehow if I don't understand how the system is going to work. But if the system detects that you or a fire team member are likely attempting to farm the practice pool, it will slow down your matchmaking times initially. And if you continue, it will lock you into the challenger pool for the remainder of the weekend. So if you keep picking on the kiddies, you're going to get thrown into the pool with the adults. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know how they're doing this too. It does sound way cool.
Right?
Some pretty
It
good
does.
magic there.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting. Yeah, both pools will have connection-based matchmaking. There will be no. Oh wow, yeah. Okay, now the practice pool actually, hilariously, the practice pool actually has more restrictions on its matchmaking than the challenger pool, because both pools will, of course, challenger pool will be a connection-based matchmaking purely. No win, which will make it a little frustrating, but there will be no no matchmaking based on your ticket or your skill or how you're doing. So if you're in the challenger pool, you're getting into the sharks. Whereas the practice pool will have connection and weekly performance matchmaking. So
Okay.
yeah, it's they are legitimately like putting the water wings on. It is legitimately the kiddie pool. Like you nailed that on the head. So yeah, this is hilarious.
Sounds good.
So yeah, and of course, challenger pool. It's which pool you get put into will be based on your ticket essentially. So yeah, if it's your first match of the week, you're going to go into the practice pool. If you win that match, you're immediately going to be thrown into the challenger pool because in order to have access to the challenger pool, you just simply have to have a ticket with no losses, and then you're in the challenger pool. And then as soon as you get a loss, you're back in the practice pool. It sounds like how that's working there.
Yeah.
So it's a simple admission. And like I said, if this farming protection actually works, I feel like this can be a really cool system.
Yeah. It again, I say this a lot, but it makes me a little more interested in just maybe occasionally hopping in, you know, solo match
Right?
made trials or something like that.
Exactly. I mean, because if you're just looking to grind for, weapon or whatever, if you're really not trying to go flawless, because that's the thing. Even before, even if you weren't trying to go flawless, you still like wanted to like reset your ticket, like after your card was flawed, it was still like mentality to reset your ticket. But if you're just going to grind, the kind of believe you really don't want to reset your ticket then, unless you are attempting to go flawless, and then yes, reset your ticket and get thrown back in with sharks.
Excellent.
Otherwise, those 2 points are. Oh, and of course they're. I feel like this is definitely the 12th annual Kilts for Kids is happening. So yeah.
Yeah, another one of those charity things here. They want a goal of 77,777.
Yes, and this is again one of those recurring Bungie things, because good Lord, how many of these have I seen through the years?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And 12th annual, obviously that's older than Destiny starting, so they found
just barely.
a great, just barely now.
All right, just
they
barely.
found a great thing that's been around for a while. And there's a cool emblem if you donate. I've never donated yet, but if you donate $50 or more, you get this emblem.
That is a pretty I normally don't like incentives on such high-ish donations, because there's legitimately people out there that wish they could donate $50 and just like me can't. But I will say this is a nice emblem though. It fits the theme very well this year. It's a very nice plaid.
It is. Well, I don't think I'll be donating this year. We have a $500 windshield replacement we got to pay for. Good thing no one cares that much. But okay, remember when windshields on older cars used to be 150, 200, 300 at most?
That's like everything, man.
I know, inflation and technology, and I had one of these. Yeah, fancy cars with the eyesight lane assist crap.
Gotcha.
Anyways, I'm glad I have a $500 insurance deductible, because $1,100 for this freaking thing is what the actual cost is.
Yeah, that's not. That's like when someone was telling me, like somebody had to get a key for their car, and of course, everything's smart keys these days. It was like $300 to get a key replacement. I'm like, my God, what happened to the day when you can go down to like any shady place and get like a $10 key copy made?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like nuts, man.
Yeah. Just sell us a new car.
Sell me an old car. Screw it. Give me. I want my first car back. It's an '89 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra.
I do like things that newer cars have, but I totally get it too. Like as far as yeah, and if you had a windshield you need to replace on that, what would it be? Still, prices may be a little higher, but
that and the it was such a. It was the only car I've ever owned that the speedometer didn't go past the speedometer didn't read past 80.
Yes.
And it's like, oh my God. Like thinking back on it, it's a little nuts. Because I've definitely went more than 80 in that car. Trust me.
One thing I don't like, I do have good memories from older cars too, but the first car that I got from my mom, it was her car. It was a 70 El Camino. And the problem when you didn't have like automatic fuel injection or like leveling sensors for the gas tank is You remember the gas fuel gauge would like go up and down, especially if you're like going on a hill or.
You're empty,
I'm like, wait
and
a
then all of a
second, I'm out
sudden
of gas. All of a sudden,
you're like on empty, and then you level out, and you're like, oh no, wait, I'm fine. It's good.
but I did actually run out of gas once because, and also it was so close. Like I guess back in the day, you really should have just always filled up at half a tank or more. But
Yeah.
it would be down to a quarter of a tank. But it was one of those weird things where like you got empty to the left, then quarters just up a little bit, and then you got straight up is half, and then 3/4 is like way to almost full, and then you had full. So I'm like, okay, quarter of a tank, I should be fine. But it probably was not at a quarter of a tank, and then I like go up some hill or something. It's like it's all wobbling up and down, and then I did actually run out of gas. And, it was a pain.
I remember. Just think like this is definitely like rabbit holing, but it's hilarious because again, to like older technology, when they had like the low fuel light, like I remember first seeing that, and it's like, go get gas right this instant.
Yes.
And now I'm driving a car that has 2 stages of low fuel light. So when I see the first one pop up, I know I'm good until it starts flashing, and then I need to go get gas right then.
Yep. And and for me, okay, yeah, the first one plus it says you have like 30 miles left. And then it says and then eventually it goes away. It's like it just doesn't tell you. It says no miles, but obviously that's not the case. And then so that's the second stage. And then I'm like, okay, panic, I need to get gas. But my wife, she'll still push that. She's like, oh, I know I still have like another 20, 30 miles. I'm like, really? I'd be scared. But she pushes it.
Oh, memory
Yeah.
lane. Oh, that's
Yep.
hitting us tonight.
Well, maybe we'll have some after dark. We'll see if anyone comes on. But good Destiny discussions, good other discussions, and Sin, you didn't get to be here, and we talked cars. Haha.
All right. Had some good car discussion, and the car
Mhm.
guy wasn't even here.
Mm-hmm.
God, shame for shame.
For shame. All right. Yeah, my wife has texted me. I need to text her someone's number, so I'm going to start closing out here. But yeah, anything else you wanted to talk about though, Des? Or if we brought up a deer, he'd find his way here. Or Scoot said, "Yep." Mm-hmm.
Fair. Fair. Honestly, I don't think so. It's a 12 light week. It's kind of, I mean, other than Grand Masters is the big news, but that's just the start of the title like chase. So I mean, that's not really huge. It's just it happened. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll have our mid-season patch on Tuesday, and some big changes coming with that. And what are we going to have for live event seasonal activity? Are we getting like a spring? What do they call that one? Do we have one coming up? I feel like they told us.
Guardian Games?
Maybe Guardian Games. Yeah, Guardian Games. Okay.
It might be Guardian Games.
All right.
Yeah,
all right. We'll see how that
'cause-
goes this time.
I just realized we didn't have any kind of attempt at the oh god, what was it called? They called it Crimson Days.
Yeah, those have been gone for a while, but I feel like they had their solstice was summer, but was there a spring one, or is Guardian Games always the spring one?
I think Guardian Games is the spring one, but occasionally they try to like at least mention Crimson Days or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I guess it just never gained traction, or they probably just couldn't think of anything, or doubles was just not that fun for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it to win this year? It hasn't everyone won a Guardian Games at this point in time?
God, I don't even remember now. Did Warlocks win one?
Did they win this last one? Or last year's?
Okay. Yes. Thank you, RNG. Sorry, I don't remember. I mean, Guardian Games,
Yeah, they've all won.
Like-
Okay, fair.
we'll see if I care again. I mean, I'll play it enough. But yeah, second halves of seasons are always and that's fine. There's no complaints here, but I'm kind of getting to the point now where, like a lot of people, well, I'll get up to my rank 10. We'll be finishing Master 8 in a couple more weeks, and then probably the back half of the season, I won't be playing as much. Obviously, we still have a lot of fun talking about things, and we still raid all the time, and you have stuff to talk about, not even playing. So we'll talk about it, but I'm kind of guessing again, second half of the season will be a little bit lighter.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm always finding things to talk about.
Of course, yeah.
It's like we actually had some interesting conversation about lore, or a bunch of interesting conversation about lore, to be honest. A lot of people thinking, of course, the next season is going to be featuring potentially a worm god, so some nice topics about those. And actually recently had a nice talk about Cloud Strider, like the potential that we're told Cloud Striders have a 10-year cycle, or a 10-year life after they get their stuff, but it's Neptune, right? That it's on?
Yes.
Neomona? Yeah. But Neptune has like a 1,000-year orbit, or 1,000 some odd year orbit. So, like, is the 10 years Earth years, or is it their years? But then again, we did come to the conclusion, A, 10 years was outside universe information given to us personally, so probably just 10 years. And B, there wouldn't be a lot, like, we do have evidence that Nimbus says that Rohan was the first to sacrifice himself, essentially, before his 10 years was up. And there's a lot of Cloud Striders, and the biggest timescale we have to pre-collapse to now is like 10,000 years, so that would not... The amount of fallen or expired Cloud Striders would not add up to that, considering they're like the Sith and there can only be two. Star Wars reference. But yeah. So yeah, like, just an interesting, like, I mean, just this and more that you could find in these lore channels, which that was Guardian Downcast lore channels. But anyway, just not even sometimes lore talks, but just interesting, like, I guess logic puzzles, sort of, or at least like thinking exercises. There we go. So yeah, just a lot of interesting stuff. So you can always poke your head in there because nerds.
Yep. Check out all the channels. You'd be surprised what you might find that might be interesting. Oh, and by the way, a couple of points of business. In the Destiny Help channel, we haven't been getting a lot of updates, mostly because those get sourced from Bungie. Will put out tweets as their main way of doing things. I'm guessing they're going to change it up soon too, because Twitter's becoming very unreliable for many different reasons. But what used to happen was Bungie would post tweets and there was a free read API. The write API you had to pay for, but the read API was free. Well, Elon Musk stopped that, so we can't automatically get those posts to the Discord now with bots. Destiny Help articles, someone might find an interesting way around it, but for now, just be aware you may not find as many notifications in the Discord about issues happening with Destiny, which, by the way, even today, there was a minor down for emergency maintenance for, I don't know, about an hour or so. And then the other thing is the 100 bot, as of yesterday, started getting a little bit flaky. It works, but you'll get errors, and sometimes you have to refresh the page or do something 2 times-ish for it to go through. And they're aware of it. Hopefully they'll get it fixed. There's no ETA right now, especially because their main developer is not someone who works on this project tons, so they just kind of have to wait for him.
Fair.
So those of you using the bot, just be aware it's out of our control, and I don't know, something really gets crazy, we'll think of something, but just be aware it's maybe a little flaky for now. And other points of business, please review our podcast. It helps us get found, and we will read your review on the air. And if you want to know how to do that, well, you're listening to the podcast right now. Just simply look at the podcast episode description. There is an easy link at the bottom where you can leave a review.
Yeah.
Do it. We dare you.
And if we remember, we'll read it.
Oh, I'll remember. I get the notifications. Well,
oh yeah, fair.
Yeah, as long as I remember to say that on the podcast. So we double dog dare you to leave a review if you haven't yet. All right. Des, anything else, or you can take us out where people can find you?
Yeah, I have nothing else. You can of course find me on Twitter at DES_Raven, which I just so happened to actually check today. So I got the nifty notifications of being added whenever we were on the Blueberry Lounge. So if you haven't listened to that episode, check it out. It was fun. Otherwise, you can find me across the Discords. A good many of them. Kingsley.
Yes, so you can find me at all the Discords also, and everywhere Discord in the game, on Twitch occasionally while I'm streaming, while I raid, you can find me as Kingsley Mac. And even on Twitter for now, and our show is The Guardian Hub on Twitter or on our lovely website where you can find all our information, theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Des. Yep, you know how to do that when Sin's not here, even when Sin forgets to do it last week. Timely. Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for in the live chat. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in again this week, and we will catch you all again next week. Have a good one.
Later.